You're staring at a screen. Your thumb flicks upward. Another video plays. You don't remember choosing to watch it. The real answer is far stranger than weak willpower. Your brain is running software that hasn't been updated in 200,000 years. You did not design your own operating system. It was written for you on a landscape that no longer exists. Every time you open your phone, you step into a world your brain was never meant to see, and it cannot look away. Think about what happens when you check just one notification. A news headline catches your eye, a friend posted a photo, a stranger said something outrageous. An hour disappears. Your neck hurts. You feel guilty, but your thumb keeps moving. Why does it feel like you're not the one in control? The reason is buried deep in your evolutionary past. Your brain is a foraging machine. For millions of years, survival meant scanning the environment for two things: reward and danger. A red berry on a bush, a rustle in the tall grass. Information was as precious as food. Knowing where the antelope migrated kept you alive. Knowing who in your tribe was angry or in love kept you safe. You are the descendant of the most curious, most information-hungry hominins who ever walked the earth. Your brain still treats every new piece of information like a calorie it cannot afford to miss. There is a famous experiment from the 1950s. Psychologist B.F. Skinner placed pigeons inside a box and fed them pellets. But he didn't give them a pellet every time they pecked a lever. He made the reward unpredictable. Sometimes they pecked and got nothing. Sometimes they pecked and got a feast. Those pigeons pecked obsessively. They developed strange little dances and rituals. The random reward hijacked their brains more deeply than a predictable one ever could. Skinner called it the variable schedule of reinforcement. Today, you carry a Skinner box in your pocket. Every swipe is a peck. The pellet is a notification, a new post, a like, or a shocking headline. You never know which swipe will deliver the jackpot, so you keep swiping. Your brain does not just crave reward. It craves the anticipation of reward. In the 1990s, neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz sat a monkey in front of a screen and measured its dopamine neurons. When a light flashed before a drop of juice arrived, the monkey's dopamine spiked not at the juice itself, but at the light. The brain was celebrating the prediction, the hope. If the juice arrived unexpectedly, the spike was even bigger. Every time you pull down to refresh a feed, your dopamine neurons are lighting up with the question, what if this time there's something new? What if it's something amazing? The possibility alone is enough to keep your thumb in motion. Your brain is also a social monitoring tool. Anthropologist Dunbar spent years studying how primates bond. He found that human social groups naturally settle around 150 people. But you cannot physically groom that many individuals like a chimpanzee picking bugs off a friend. So your ancestors invented something else. They invented gossip. Language evolved, in part, so you could trade information about who could be trusted, who had cheated, who was sleeping with whom. Your brain learned to treat social information as a life-saving resource. Knowing that a rival had gathered allies was as urgent as knowing where the waterhole was. Now the whole planet is your tribe. Your phone gives you access to the social lives of thousands of people. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a juicy piece of gossip at the campfire and a celebrity breakup on a newsfeed. The same ancient circuits activate. A 2012 study found that talking about yourself triggers the same reward pathways as food and money. Your own opinions, your own updates, your own photo of what you ate for lunch. All of it gives your brain a tiny hit of value. You are simultaneously the hunter and the hunted in a vast information ecosystem. There is a deeper twist. You might assume that your brain would eventually get full. That after enough scrolling, you would feel satisfied and stop. But your brain never evolved a stop signal for information. On the savannah, novel information was rare and almost always useful. A new animal track, a new plant, a new sound in the night. There was no such thing as useless new information. Your brain built an engine that always said more. And now you live in a world of infinite novelty, where a machine has learned to feed your brain exactly what it cannot resist. Your brain's ancient hunger meets an all-you-can-eat buffet with no closing time. You cannot stop because the part of you that knows when to stop does not exist. This is the mismatch. Your brain evolved to walk slowly through a landscape full of long silences and occasional bursts of vital data. It now lives inside a hurricane of signals designed to exploit every vulnerability in your wiring. The color red in a notification badge triggers an alertness once reserved for blood or ripe fruit. The automatic play of the next video removes the one natural stopping point you had, the moment of silence where your prefrontal cortex could ask, "Do I want to keep watching?" Even the pull to refresh gesture mimics a slot machine lever, a variable reward Skinner could have designed in his lab. You feel it physically. Your breathing becomes shallow when you scroll. Your shoulders tighten. Your eyes stop blinking. This is your sympathetic nervous system, the ancient fight or flight response, staying slightly activated because your brain believes it is in the middle of something important. It cannot distinguish a negative comment from a predator's growl. It dumps a little cortisol into your bloodstream. You feel anxious, but you keep scrolling because the only way your ancient brain knows to resolve anxiety is to keep scanning for the source of the threat. You are checking the horizon for lions that never appear. Have you ever felt your phone vibrate in your pocket when it didn't? That phantom buzz is a phenomenon researchers have documented. Your brain has become so attuned to the possibility of a reward that it hallucinates it. It is the same mechanism that made a hunter hear the snap of a twig that wasn't there, because missing a real snap could mean death. Your overprotective brain would rather give you 100 false alarms than let you miss one real notification. The cruelest part is that the content is never satisfying. It is designed to be almost interesting, almost rewarding. The dopamine spike comes from the anticipation, not the arrival. Once you see the post, read the headline, watch the video, the reward evaporates instantly. Your brain is left empty, and the only way to refill that emptiness is to scroll again. This is a loop with no end. It is a thirst that cannot be quenched by drinking. Why doesn't knowing this help you stop? Because the circuits driving your scrolling are not the rational, language-based parts of your brain. They sit in the deep, old structures beneath your cortex. You can understand the mismatch perfectly and still feel your thumb move. That is not a personal failure. That is the architecture of a brain built for a different world. Your neocortex can write a book about dopamine, but your striatum will still beg for the next hit. There is something else at play. You are not just drawn to information. You are drawn to danger. Negative news, outrage, threats, they grip you harder than positive content. This is called negativity bias. Your ancestors who paid more attention to the predator's tracks than to the beautiful sunset survived to pass on their genes. You are the child of the worried ones. A single angry comment in 100 kind ones will hook your brain for hours. You will not stop scrolling until you feel you have resolved the threat. But the threat is a digital ghost. It never ends. Think about what you were doing before you picked up your phone. Chances are you were feeling something. Boredom, loneliness, uncertainty, a moment of quiet. That tiny moment of discomfort is the trigger. Your brain hates ambiguity and emptiness. It will trade them instantly for any stimulation, even if the stimulation hurts. The phone has become a pacifier for a brain that cannot sit still. A brain that evolved in a world where doing nothing meant missing an opportunity to find food or a chance to spot a predator. Stillness was dangerous. Now stillness is rare, and your phone ensures it stays that way. How much of your life has been claimed by this loop? The average person will spend over 6 years of their existence on social media. 6 years! That is longer than you will spend eating, longer than you will spend socializing face to face. And yet the loop feels impossible to break because it hijacks a system that was never designed to be broken. Consider what happens when you lose your phone. The panic is real. Your heart rate increases, your palms sweat. You feel cut off from your tribe. This is not hyperbole. Brain imaging studies show that social exclusion activates the same regions as physical pain. Your phone has become a portal to your social world, and losing it feels like being kicked out of the cave at night. That same ancient fear of isolation is being pulled by a device that is never more than 3 feet away from you at any moment. But there is a strange freedom in knowing all of this. Once you see the machine for what it is, you can start to step outside it. Every scroll is a choice your ancestors' code is trying to make for you. Every pull to refresh is a pigeon pecking a lever. Every phantom buzz is a ghost of a predator that never arrived. You are not broken. You are a perfectly functioning ancient human dropped into a future that your brain cannot comprehend. The next time you catch yourself scrolling, watch it happen. Notice the urge. Notice the brief, hollow anticipation. Notice the moment of disappointment after the content arrives. You are witnessing a 200,000-year-old brain trying to navigate a world that moves at the speed of light. Be gentle with it. It is doing exactly what it was built to do. It just never met an infinite feed before. You are lying in bed, phone in hand, thumb moving on its own. But now you know the truth. That thumb is being driven by a brain that is still foraging on a Pleistocene savanna, still scanning the horizon for a berry patch or a flicker of movement in the grass. And it will never, ever stop looking.